will I use a hammer on my Redmi 13C. So recently, Realme got into the Nigerian market. Je ne suis même pas Nigérian. Pourquoi je fais cette vidéo? Est-ce qu'il y a une raison pour faire ça? Anyways, they released a couple of phones during the launch event. The C61, the GT6, and of course, the Realme Note 50. And I must say, the phone that stood out for me the most was the Realme Note 50. And this phone is tough. Then I said to myself, since I currently own and use the Redmi 13C, why don't I just compare the Realme Note 50 to the Redmi 13C? The names are quite similar and confusing. Realme, Redmi. If you have any history about these two smartphone brands, please leave them down in the comment section. Without much talking, let's get into the video. Okay, so you've probably already seen many videos from your favorite tech content creators who are drop testing this phone from reasonable heights, or even dropping a hammer on this phone to test out how tough and how rugged the Realme Note 50 is. But that's not what I'm actually going to focus on in this video. I'm going to be based on how this rugged entry-level smartphone compares to the Redmi 13C, and to see if buying the Redmi 13C is a better pick compared to the ruggedness of the Realme Note 50. Yeah, I know, these phones aren't quite comparable, but I've got to do it anyways. Not to bore you with some similar specs, here are the things you need to know. Both phones have the same size, have the same display type and refresh rate. They weigh about the same. They have the same battery capacity and all have a U-shaped notch for the selfie camera. Now, the unboxing experience is almost the same with both smartphones. That is, the phone and a 10 watts charger in the box. The Realme Note 50 includes a transparent plastic case, which isn't available on the Redmi 13C. Knowing these similarities, let's get into some differences that actually stand out between these two devices. Okay, so the main selling point of the Realme Note 50, as per reviews from content creators and social media posts, is how rugged and tough this phone is and how it compares to the competition. Does this mean I'll be using a hammer on my Redmi 13C? Watch to find out. So with all this taken care of, let's consider some differences. Now, the Redmi 13C has more storage options. It can go up to 8 GB for the RAM and up to 256 GB for the storage. The Realme, on the other hand, can only be maxed out at about 4 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of storage, although there's a 256 gig variant, but this is quite rare. It also comes with support for expandable storage of up to 2 terabytes and dynamic RAM expansion, which is only supported on the 4 gig version. Both phones come with a 10 watts charging brick out of the box, but the Redmi 13C can charge faster at up to 18 watts of wired charging. There are 5 color options on the Redmi 13C, but just 2 on Realme's side. There's a 50 megapixel main camera and an 8 megapixel selfie camera on the 13C, but only a 13 megapixel main and a 5 megapixel selfie on the Realme Note 50. You shouldn't expect stunning images even on the 13C. For videos, both phones shoot up to 1080p 30 fps with its rear cameras, but the Realme only shoots 720p with its selfie compared to the 1080p on the Redmi 13C. The Realme Note 50 has an IP54 rating for water and dust resistance, while the Redmi 13C doesn't. The processor on the Note 50 is the Unisoc 612. I was surprised as to how close this processor actually performs in comparison to the processor on the Redmi 13C, which is the MediaTek Helio G85. It's going to be quite unfair to compare the processor on both smartphones because they don't come from the same brackets, budget and entry level. So, just for clearance, here are some things you need to know. The processor on the Redmi 13C is 63% higher in GPU frequency, performs 22% better in floating point computations, 11% higher CPU clock speed. If you want to check out more details about this comparison, I'll leave a link in the description just below the like button. Now for the moment of truth. Will I use a hammer on my Redmi 13C? Come on guys, you didn't expect me to do that. This by far is the only phone I have. Most of what I'm using right now is borrowed. This phone I'm currently using as the microphone is from a friend. The phone I'm shooting on right now is from another friend. As a matter of fact, this hammer isn't mine at all. So, please, I cannot destroy my own phone. But if you're not satisfied that I didn't drop test a hammer on the Redmi 13C, just tell me down in the comment section. And if you're willing to buy me another phone, you don't know, I might do the drop test. But anyways, let's talk about pricing. There is a $10 difference in price if you're going to get the same specification variant of both phones. That is 4 gigabytes of RAM and 128 gigabytes of storage on Amazon. For this configuration, you're going to pay around $116 for the Realme Note 50 and $126 for the Redmi 13C. My recommendation to you would be to get the Realme Note 50 if you're someone who drops his or her phone a lot, or you're buying it for someone who is just so careless and needs a phone that is tough. But if you care about cameras, charging speed, and CPU performance, you definitely have to go with the Redmi 13C. So which phone would you buy? The Realme Note 50 for its ruggedness, or you're willing to spend an extra $10 to get the Redmi 13C for a faster processor, better cameras, and faster charging speed? Tell me down in the comment section. And while you're at it, also do well to subscribe to our channel. It really helps out a lot. Okay, so that is it. Which phone would you want me to compare the Redmi 13C to in my next video? Leave your thoughts down in the comment section and I'll be willing to chat with you. Thanks for watching. Catch you guys in the next one. T for Tech. Peace.